Will the slides be from Luca? Will the slides be available? Yes. I will upload them to my website, which is called biocharissimo.dk, and this is still under construction. And this website is dedicated to spreading the knowledge and connecting the different stakeholders. And I will also upload this video to YouTube and post it on the website. And let's see from Krishna, can certified carbon credits be used to offset carbon taxes? That's an excellent question. At the moment, it's not possible, unfortunately. But together with the team, we're working on, with policymakers to change this. And let's see. There is a really interesting initiative from the Ithaca Institute that is creating a universal CO2 calculation method for biochar, certified calculation method. Yes, that's great. And the Ithaca Institute, they are doing so many great things to help biochar become more integrated into our economy. But as far as I know, exactly as you're right, is creating, so it's not finished yet. But I am in contact with the different people from the Ithaca Institute, and we have a really good cooperation going. And have you looked at the Pura model? Yes, absolutely. So the Carbofex that I mentioned, if I go back, well, that's not back. So Carbofex here, they are using the Pura model. And in this case, so far Pura just have 3 companies with the CO2 negative or climate positive technologies. And then there is an auction, and then the companies themselves can choose to take the offers. So this is a really great model. But so far there are only 3 companies. So, I mean, there's so many carbon sinks out there, and they need to be made available for all the companies. And that's why I suggest that by taking content directly to the companies, just like Delta Airlines did when they offset their carbon, or as Stripe just did, they just use something called carbon cure to offset their emissions. So I mean, you see many companies that are doing it directly. It's really interesting. And here from Olivia, there is also the option to sell on the voluntary market, even through self-marketing with your own calculations. Yes. Also, if you have EBC certified biochar, you should check out Carbon Future. They're starting a carbon market for EBC biochar. It's blockchain based. And those are excellent points. So now there was a little bit about Puro, and then Carbon Future is another voluntary market, which is really interesting. This model is a little bit different because then Carbon Future buys the certificate directly from the carbon sink. That means that if a company produces let's say 100 tons of biochar, then they buy the 100 tons of biochar worth certificate. So these are 2 different approaches. And let's see Olivia again. I'd be really interested to talk with others about self-marketing and exchange if anyone is interested. So yes, then that's great, Olivia. And I think it'd be interesting to talk as well with you. So, so if you want people to contact you, maybe you can write an email, or people can find you on LinkedIn. Which do you prefer? And then we have from Lilia, privately, let's see. So yeah, now I'm just going to read it up. Even though it's privately, I think it's a good question for everyone. Let's see here. Are there plans in Denmark to offer a plug-and-play offering that would cut through the complexity you bring up? For example, corn growers wanting to cash in their excess biomass value. So, Lilia, I'm sorry that I'm not exactly following the question, because if you could just do me a favor and try to ask again in a different way, then I'm happy to answer. And thank you for sharing the email, Olivia. And Thomas Howard, can you create a LinkedIn group so we can make contact with each other? Yes, absolutely. Then I just need to make sure that I knew who the participants were. And let's see. Yes, I can do it from, yes, I'll save the list afterwards. And then from Krishna, have you interviewed these companies? Are there more companies selling biochar in metallurgy or animal fodder? So as far as I know, there's no company selling for metallurgy. I mean, there is the Erics that have a product, but I don't know if there are actually sales involved. And there are more companies selling animal fodder, yes. So this is when I made these calculations. There are different companies, and I'm happy to send the names to you. And let's see, Trevor Richards asks, how many biochar producers in Denmark now? Well, I'm very sorry to say that right now there are basically no biochar producers. So you have less than a ton being produced a year. But very soon, in a few months, there'll be one biochar producer producing 4 tons of biochar per day. And that'll be the first, let's say, small scale producer. If you define a large scale as more than 10,000 tons per year. And then there are some municipal wastewater treatments, which are about to purchase pyrolysis plants, choosing which one to do it. And they'll produce a lot of biochar as well. And they don't know what to do about it. So let's see. Is there a mailing list to help connect those who are interested in the topic? That's great. I think, yeah, to follow Thomas Howard's suggestion, it could be great if those that want to be part of the group could just write their email, then I'll be sure to put people in contact. Yes, and I'm getting a message from Lilia for rephrasing of the question, but or not. Yes, that's great. Those who are interested, yes, great. Then I guess I'll try to one new message. Municipal plants. Is it sewage plants? Yes, it's sewage plants. And I haven't interviewed them directly, but I've worked with people who are talking with them directly. So it's secondhand knowledge, so to speak. But yeah, great question. And now I'll try to see if I can understand Lia's question. So yeah, I'll read the question again. Are there plans in Denmark to offer a plug-and-play offering that would cut through the complexity you bring up? For example, corn grower wanting to cash in their excess biomass value. So as far as I know, there's no plug-and-play solution. But on the other hand, there's a lot of money put aside. So if the farmer writes an application, in Denmark it would be to the MUDP or GUDP, then it should definitely be possible to get some help in creating such a system. And yeah, I would also say, yeah, contact me and then we can take it from there. And that's it for the questions so far. Yeah, and then once more, I'll give people yeah, a minute. And thank you, Klaus. And Krishna asks, is there an online tender for it? How do we know who's willing to buy pyrolysis machines? Have they any stated goal on carbon credit? So yeah, great question. I don't know what I'm not sure what an online tender is, but I guess that it's when companies say we want to buy something and then people can make the offering. But if you can just confirm that's what it means, then yeah, if you can just explain to me what that word means. And then I'll answer Olivia in the meantime. Do you know any biochar producers who have successfully certified for the carbon credits? Yes, there are many companies who have successfully certified for the carbon credits. You already saw one example today, that's Carbofex, and who are using a voluntary carbon scheme. Then we have Carbon Cure, that I mentioned that the company Stripe is using to offset their carbon. And then we have many of the EBC certified companies that are working together with EBC carbon sink certification and carbon future that somebody else mentioned. But the carbon future is not yet up and running, but probably will be soon. And let's see how many biochar production technologies, processes are there, and who are the global leaders? So that's really, really a good question. So right now, I just want to state that there is no giant in the market. There is many small players, and there are some companies that have made a lot of money or attracted a lot of funding, but who didn't make it. But this just means that the timing is really great right now because we can learn from all the past success and failures and use the best things. And if we look at how many production technologies, um, I mean, it's all centered around pyrolysis. So then it's all about how, what is the time profile, what is the temperature profile, um, what gas do you use instead of oxygen? Is it nitrogen, carbon dioxide? How do you mix the biomass? So one of the big issues is the application, and that is when you have a lot of different biomass, a heterogeneous kind of biomass. How do you chop it and make it not homogeneous in composition, but at least in structure? So there are some different challenges, and there are many different solutions and many different patterns. So if you look at how many patterns there are with pyrolysis and biochar, now it's what I remember. So it's not valid at all, but I think it was about 20 or 40,000. And I built this on a search in Google patterns and from different sources. But there are more than 150 companies working with biochar and pyrolysis in one way or the other. But when you want to find them, it's really difficult because it's scattered all around. And that's why I think it's really beneficial to consult somebody who has this overview and know the different technologies and what is most beneficial in this case. Should it be gasification, pyrolysis, torrefaction? What is the temperature? It all depends on what biomass do you have available, what is the application you want to use it for, and also, of course, the legal aspect. So thank you for that great question. And now I have to scroll down. From sewage plant, is there any online tender? Online tender is basically a website stating that they want to buy a pyrolysis machine with given specifications with a deadline, and interested parties bid for it. Yeah, so that's what I thought. I don't know about an online tender, but you're welcome, Richard. But I can write you the names of the two Danish companies that are looking for a pyrolysis plant. I don't remember if the deadline is passed, but I'll send it to you anyway, and then we can try to find if there is an online tender. And you're welcome, Krishna. And then while I wait for potentially other questions, I just want to thank everyone for listening in, because of course this is something that I'm very passionate about, and it's all about connecting the different stakeholders, which we're doing today. And Olivia say thank you so much. Thank you. And I will make this group with all the different emails that I got, and then we can take it from there. So actually there were supposed to be a lot more participants joining today, so I'm not sure what went wrong, but I guess that I'll send them the link. And you're welcome, Piffle. Thank you, Sam. Oh yeah, of course. I want to also emphasize that now we are a team of consultants dedicated to this, and we have somebody in Sweden, in Denmark, and Italy. So if people know anybody in these local areas, just let us know. Then we have somebody who can go and see the site and make the different calculations and help make a strategy. And it'll be really nice if all companies with actual production will be listed somewhere. Well, I'm very happy you say that, Krishna, because I made such a list, and so far I think 150, 60 companies on that list. And Mesh Energy is also on it. So I'm not sure if I'll make it publicly available or if I'll just share it with yeah, people who I work with. But yeah, I'll let you know. And in that list, there's both pyrolysis companies and biochar companies.